Hey, what is up everyone? It's the man, the myth, the mustache, Tim here. And before we get into today's video, there's a few things I'd like to go over with you. First off, we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, if this video hits 1,000 likes by the end of the week, we will continue this what if. Third, if you didn't know, only 41.3% of you are subscribed to us, so please, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the story! Himiko's hand reached out to All Might, and she wished for him to give her his blood. He watched as Kirishima was rushing towards them from afar, then he stared back at her hand. All Might let her use his blood by holding her hand, and soon the container on her backpack filled up. Toga let the blood tubes fill with his blood, and she consumed it. Her body changed, along with her clothes, to resemble All Might down to the greatest detail. She then carried him away somewhere secure, and managed to get back over to where the original All Might was standing.
Yo, are you alright, young hero?
She exclaimed as she played the part of the #1 hero, doing her best to pull off an amazing All Might impression. Wow, you're crazy manly, All Might! The girl nodded her disguised head, while the real All Might was back in his smaller form, hiding behind a structure as he witnessed her quirk in action.
You should probably check up on your classmates, see if they're injured.
She gave Kirishima a thumbs up while posing dramatically.
That's not how I look. That's not how I look at all,
All Might said to himself quietly while rolling his eyes upward in disbelief. Kirishima then ran over to where the entrance was to see if any of his classmates were hurt. Toga sighed in relief and walked over to Midoriya, who was still on the floor.
I gotta say, you look pretty cute.
She smiled warmly. Except she still looked like All Might, so the moment she was trying to have failed immediately, while Midoriya was shocked that he heard his idol call him cute. The day was saved, and all was well, for now. Himiko played back the whole event in her head while walking home. Her phone was out of battery after not charging it for the day. The students were dropped off at the campus for medical treatment, and they were able to go home when recovered. She opened the door to her house with her key, and stepped inside, taking her shoes off. Her mother ran towards her, hugging her greatly. Got a call from the school saying they were attacked at the USJ. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Her mother was the only one there at the house. Her father was probably working again. I was, but I'm fine now. Promise. I was worried that something would have happened to you. Where were your teachers when this happened? They barely made it out alive, but they did their best to keep us safe. Toga said carelessly as she roamed through the house, setting her bag on the floor. I don't know if it was a good idea to let you apply to UA. How can you say that? Look at what happened! You were attacked! Something could have happened to you! Himiko stopped walking to turn to her mother, and she approached her carefully. I'm going to be a hero one day, and this kind of stuff is going to happen a lot. I'm scared. I know I shouldn't be. You're a strong girl, but I need you to be careful. Please? Mom, I'm going to be fine. I have people looking out for me. The two held each other for a moment. Her mother always supported and loved Himiko without a second thought, but fear holds her mother's loving heart. Toga always appreciated the things her mother did for her, and the two continued to embrace. The next day, Toga walked to Class 1B to see her mentor after what happened. She slid the door open and bowed to him in respect. She then sat over on his desk, and he sat down to talk about what happened.
That was you posing as All Might, right?
How did you know?
I was there. Plus, you called that kid on the floor cute.
She raised her hands to her eyes and shook her head. You saw that? The embarrassment in her face stuck out like a sore thumb.
The whole thing. And I have to say it's pretty impressive how well you fooled that redhead. You saved All Might's ass. Not only that, but I also heard that you got a clean hit on that guy's face.
He noticed that when she was hearing the praise, she relished in it, making him smile a bit.
More importantly, I'm proud that you used your quirk for good. Can't stress how important it is for you to know that, kid.
She nodded, proud of herself. She did use her quirk for good, but quickly thought about her instructor. Wait, what about Aizawa-sensei? Is he okay? She worried for him after seeing how messed up he was.
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, Recovery Girl had a field day on him, so he should be up and at him in the next couple of days, I think. Knowing Aizawa, he'll pull through, sooner or later.
Vlad King wasn't too sure, but he was certain that in the end, Aizawa would pull through. In return, Toga sighed and calmed herself.
Have to get in a meeting soon with the staff and the police to figure out what we're dealing with here. Another reason why I called you in. Do you remember what that guy looked like? The one you hit?
She remembered his scarred, pale face, his ashen hair, and his lanky body, looking almost like a skeleton. She shuddered, looking into those hateful red eyes, something only a true villain would look like. She recounted everything to her mentor in great detail, and then realized she had some of the strange man's blood in her costume. One of the packs still had his blood inside. She thought it would be useful against the Nomu, but it would be even more useful now. I have a better idea. In my costume's backpack, I have a container of his blood. I was going to use it to stop that bird thingy, but this is a better time for it.
This is perfect! Way to go, Toga!
Even more praise for his apprentice, and she loved it. Vlad King told Toga to wait in his room while he headed down to collect her blood pack. He had access to the hero costumes of each student and picked out her costume. He saw how similar it looked to his and wished that she had some originality, but the thought was sweet. He accessed the backpack and took it with him to the room she was waiting in. He gave her the blood vial and she drank it in one go. Her face formed into Shigaraki's face. The pro hero inspected her and grabbed his cell phone to take a picture. Himiko quickly posed childishly and performed some poses. He gave her the temporary look of seriousness, and she calmed down and took the photos like a mugshot. She smiled before the gaunt face melted away and hers came back. Did you get it all?
Yes, I did, Miss Toga. I appreciate the service. As a reward, I'll let you take a piece of candy from my bowl.
She glanced over at the bowl that was presented to her, and she picked out a cherry-flavored lollipop. Before we get back into the story, I want to say we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes over the hard facts of the anime presented. Now, in case you weren't aware, we also have a third channel called We the Celestials Naruto What If. We the Celestial Naruto What If mainly focuses on our other series, the Naruto What If series. If you're interested in content like that, please go check the description below or click the eye icon in the top right corner. Now, with that out of the way, let's get back into the story, shall we? The two separated with a hug, and she headed back to her classroom. The homeroom class of 1A sat talking about what happened and who was going to be teaching the class if Mr. Aizawa was still in the hospital. Attention! Homeroom class is about to begin. Everyone stop talking and get in your seats. Dude, we're already in our seats. You're the only one standing. With shame, Ida sat down and covered his head. So, Sue, who do you think will teach class today?
Not sure. I'm sure it's someone new since Mr. Aizawa is still in the hospital. Ribbit.
An ominous presence entered the room as a bandaged man with long black hair and a sling greeted the class with a monotone and unimpressed sigh of anguish and despair.
Morning class.
He limped over to the desk, dragging his right leg and pushing himself further to get to his podium. I'm sorry, weren't you supposed to be in the hospital? Toga asked from across the classroom in worry.
My well-being is irrelevant. What's more important is that your fight isn't over yet.
No one knew what this really meant. The automatic reaction was that more villains would be coming to attack them again. Instead, Aizawa mentioned the UA Sports Festival. This was the infamous sports festival to get sponsored to join hero agencies. Ochako was surprisingly even more pumped up and serious. Deku, Ida, Toga, let's do our best in the sports festival. She wasn't her bubbly self either. She looked as if the fighting spirit of the war god Ares had entered her and possessed Uraraka. Toga slammed her foot on the ground and posed menacingly to appear intimidating. Good grief. It looks like I have a worthy opponent approaching me. I'm gonna do my best, Toga. No, I'm gonna do my best, Ochako. The class just witnessed the two getting even more pumped up than everyone else. The four walked out of the classroom to lunch. They were talking about the sports festival, while Uraraka revealed to the two boys what her motivation to win was. Her family always had problems with money, and she wanted to become a pro hero to help pay off their bills and debts. Toga knew this, and remembered a time when she asked her father to help give them a small loan. He, however, didn't care, and wished that she would leave his presence. Her father was a cold man, and she always wanted to prove him wrong. The next couple of days, everyone in class was excited to compete in the sports festival. Toga made sure to train with Vlad King when possible. She knew it was televised, so she wanted to make her family proud. 2 weeks before the sports festival, everyone wanted to leave class to head home. But a horde of UA students blocked the path. They were all looking at the students in Class 1A. "Why the heck are you all here?"
Do you students have some business with our class? They're scouting out the competition, idiots. We're the class that survived a real villain attack. They want to see us with their own eyes, Bakugo scoffed.
"Honestly, I don't think anyone wants to see you with their own eyes," Toga smirked, trying to poke the bear.
Shut the hell up before I kill you!
"You're all talk. You know how many times you said you were going to kill me? Can't wait to kick your ass in the sports festival."
So this is Class 1A.
Everyone looked to the crowd to see where the voice was coming from.
Heard you guys were impressive, but you sound like an ass. Is everyone in the hero course delusional, or just you?
The two blondes angrily stared at the boy who talked to them.
What was that?
How sad to come here and find a bunch of egomaniacs. I wanted to be in the hero course, but like many others here, I had to choose another track. Such is life. Consider this a declaration of war. If you don't give it your all, I'll take your spot right from under you. Bakugo walked away, and in turn, so did Toga. She must take this competition seriously. If not, she would be replaced.
Idiot!
Bakugo barked at Toga. He turned around as they got away from the students who surrounded them.
You think you can win a fight against me? You can barely use your quirk.
I don't need a quirk to beat you.
You need a hell of a lot of training if you're gonna go against someone like me.
He saw how she fought. She is fast, but not fast enough to match his movement.
You need to be fast and ruthless.
She stayed quiet and walked away, but he was right, for once. If she were to survive, she needed to be faster and more merciless. The training that led to the sports festival focused on stretching, sprinting, breathing, and jump rope. It helped her get faster, and the gymnastics also helped play a key role. While training with Vlad King, she focused on evading and lunging. She had a hard time getting to him quickly, but he showed her how to dodge more effectively by using his quirk to make a sword. He lunged at her and used his free hand to attack her when she dodged his attack. At first, it was difficult because he was not leaving any room to let her dodge effectively. But through time and repetitive movement, she understood that the opponent will never let her get a chance to breathe. Instead of dodging once to attack, she had to keep her body moving, and in turn, catch the opponent by surprise and overwhelm them. A day before the sports festival, Toga's mother walked into her room to check up on her daughter. "You should get some rest. The sports festival is tomorrow, and you need to be energized and ready to compete." She smiled. "You're gonna watch it tomorrow?" "Of course. I'm your #1 fan." "Is Dad gonna watch?" The room went silent, and Himiko's mother nodded. "He will. I'm not sure he's working tomorrow, so we'll watch it together." "I'm actually kind of nervous. What if I don't do well? What if I end up screwing myself over and fail the moment I start the competition?" Himiko's mother sat down next to her. "I'm sure you'll do well, Himiko. The days I took you to gymnastics and saw you perform all those incredible flips and tumbles, I knew you would become something greater, not because of what you had done, but because of your strength. You're the one who never gave up in gymnastics. You're the one who never gave up when you applied to UA. And you're the one who never gave up on yourself. I'm proud of you, baby." The two shared a tender moment, almost as if it were a fairy tale. If she never had her mother or anyone in her life that helped her push forward, she wouldn't be here today. And that's our video for the day. Now, before I go, there's a few things I want to go over before the video ends. On behalf of We the Celestials, I want to thank the writer of this video, as well as the editors of this video. Their details will be in the description below. If you're a writer, voice actor, editor, or you're just interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up the head of one of those departments. We're always looking for members to join us. So that's it from us for today's video. So I want to thank you all for watching, and if you want more content like that, please subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. It would be greatly appreciated. So peace out, everybody. Have an amazing day.